Welcome back to the Sonic Release playthrough. Today we're going to start the nighttime stage of Windmill Isle in Apatos. You hear that? Apatos, not Atopos. Ha!
We've been away for a while, bitches, but now we're here to kick some butt on Pumpkin Hill. Oh yeah!
Don't ever quote a Knuckles song from Sonic Adventure 2. Would
have been so weird if the Werehog had like crazy rap music. Now what's weird is that we're seeing this cutscene at the start of this level. Of course, Wii owners will know that basically for this level, on the Wii version, you play through the entire level, and then once you reach the end of it, we're shown this cutscene and the one that takes place where they actually meet. So I think that the boss fight was actually removed for the Wii version. It just goes from like the Werehog going up to the boss, like face to black, face back in, all the enemies are just on the floor knocked out.
That's kind of lame, but I suppose the boss is kind of physics intensive.
Well, I heard that boss is probably one of the worst in the game, in terms of the 360 version.
He's a cheap whore, but we'll get to him when we get to him. Cool. Basically, compared to Sonic, the Werehog is more combat orientated, as you can see here. Y button is to punch, X is to do a slash like that. You can combine them to do a lot of different combos, as per every action game ever made, really.
Pretty much.
That spinny move there can be achieved by grabbing with the B button and holding Y down.
It does seem like there's a lot more combo in this version. In the Wii version, I think, as I said before, you have L and R, basically your right punch, left punch, and I think it's the Y. Or this is on the GameCube controller, and on the Y button you can use the grab, although the grabbing doesn't really work that well.
That little finishing move you saw back there can be achieved by getting near an enemy and pressing B when they have an arrow above their head. It's very akin to God of War, as the Hell Dragon is also keen to point out every time he sees it. I would recommend getting the enemy's health down really low, because the timing can go quite quick if you try it too early.
Now, did you think he moved, because a lot of people usually complain, oh, he moves too slow. I thought he moved, in terms of speed, I thought he moved just fine.
At normal speed, he's quite fast. If you hold down the right trigger, he goes into a run.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn inanimate objects that don't want to take my fury.
I will say, I love the animation of the Werehog running. I think it looks so adorable. He's running on all fours.
This is Unleash mode, which can, I believe it's the right bumper to activate once your Unleash bar is full. It's essentially like a rage gauge, really, you know. Double damage to all enemies, better defense.
Yeah. So in this version, does the bar have to be full before you can unleash it?
Yeah.
In the Wii version, it's kind of like in a way, I guess it's kind of a bit like the speed boosters, which you can turn it on as long as you have a bit of power in your meter. You can just turn it on, although you can't. There isn't a way to turn it off essentially unless it all goes down.
Isn't the boost bar in the Wii version like sections instead of just one bar?
What do you mean?
You know, I've seen it like there's like one.
Oh yeah. Essentially, it's like it's a big bar, and you have sections. Although like you can do a continuous boost, you just have to press like what? You just have to keep like pressing the boost button, like a boost. So it can be continuous. It just, it is just in sections.
Gotcha, right, the B button is used to interact with most objects. You can either hold it or tap it. When jumping to platforms and whatnot, I'd recommend you hold it, because as long as you hold it, whenever the target lock appears, you will grab on to whatever's nearest, so, yeah.
Now, in terms of all these tiny, on the Wii version, there isn't really these tiny villains, it's normally just the big ones.
The nightmares.
Yeah, which, just... The enemy design wasn't the greatest. I love that move. They were just kind of like bad Kingdom Heart, heartless enemies, to be honest.
I can see your point there. These little, like golden diamonds you pick up, they're your experience points for the game.
In the Wii version, we don't have diamonds. There's like, I think there's like this blue, there's like the dark Gaia purple things, but there's also some light blue ones which are your experience points for the Wii version.
How odd. Oh, water is an instant death to the Werehog, by the way, so don't try falling in.
But I will say, I love the scream that Griffith does when the Werehog like falls in the water. It's like I commented how like in the opening scene Sonic doesn't sound like he's in pain, but like if you're on the Werehog and you fall in the water, it sounds like his arm's just been torn off.
You notice how the game's trying to censor itself whenever I do a critical attack? Damn you! Now these things are annoying because they can launch it like high speeds towards you. Try grabbing them with B and press X to throw them at another enemy. That kills them pretty quickly.
His arms like extend twice as much in this version than in the Wii version. His arms, unless like it's for a specific move, his arms aren't that stretchy.
Now you probably won't see me doing very advanced combos and whatnot because I'm not particularly good at action games, but I'll try and give you a basic go through of what the Werehog's like. It's quite fun actually.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it is. Like it does get repetitive, but for my money it gets repetitive, but it never really gets dull.
Then again, every action game suffers from that really. You know, you're just basically going through, you beat up a bunch of enemies, do some sweet platforming, and then beat up a bunch of more, you know.
Yeah. Which,
then you go back and play the speed sections as Sonic, so, you know.
No, in this stuff, is it more that you go into specific rooms that, like so far we've seen that there's been about 3 rooms which you've gone into? Is it more that you actually go into an actual room where there's enemies? And
you only see that, like, room entry cutscene once per room, so yeah.
Yeah, because I think on the Wii version, essentially, you like be walking across the level and then those, like, pink barrier bars will, like, appear, like, in a section of the level, and then you defeat the enemies, you go on, then like once you get like, you know, a bit further, you're no, I will say this, there is none of this, well, so far I'm up to Eggman Land, and not once was there any of this key placement to open doors gameplay in the Wii version whatsoever.
How odd. I must say that the Werehog stages emphasise exploration to find sun, moon medals and the like.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a look around, there's a lot to find.
What did you think of the music that plays when you're about to have a fight?
Suits me jazzy, but it does begin to grate after a while, but it never becomes terrible.
But what's weird is that, for those of you who have illegally downloaded the soundtrack, you will know that there's actually 4 different versions of it. What's odd is that they all virtually sound the same.
Yeah. Tightrope walking.
Nice, but also what's weird is that there's no Eggman robots in the night levels on the Wii version. At least I can't remember if there's any. Now, what you're seeing here is that would you say that the Werehog is moving quite, you know, slow enough for you to easily control it here?
Yeah, but you do have to be very careful.
On the Wii version, maybe it's just me, and maybe it's because I'm using the GameCube controller and not the Wiimote, but for me I find that whenever you have to go across something very thin, like a bridge, for my money the Werehog does not move slow enough for you to adequately control it.
Well, if you notice, they've put grabbable ledges on these if you fall off, so that's all good. Pole swing, just like in Prince of Persia.
Nice.
It kind of reminds me of a mix between Tomb Raider, God of War, and Prince of Persia, really. You know, but at a sort of beginner's level until the very later levels, but that's not a bad thing necessarily.
Well, the Sonic games have never really been the hardest of the gaming franchise, what have they?
Critical attacks obviously give you a lot more points than normal finishers, so if you want to go for an S rank, I suggest you keep doing them.
Whee!
Now get ready for a mini-boss fight.
I always just felt the animation of him pulling that lever takes slightly too long for me. It's like, with all that strength you think he'd be able to just like... Because it takes like 4 seconds, like, come on dude, you should do it in like 1 second.
This is the Dark Titan. He is a shockwave spamming horse. Stay away from him whenever he's doing a move. Seriously, you will get your ass knocked down.
But yeah, it's like there's loads of tiny villains in this. Like you don't really get that on the Wii version. It's just like the tiny. To be honest with you, I'll say the villain design actually looks different in this. But also, you know what's really odd and something that I felt kind of Sega was slightly lying to us. Remember back in when information was first coming out, they were saying that Dimps was making the daytime levels, but the nighttime levels would essentially be the same.
Yeah.
That's a giant lot of crap.
There is some very slight frame rate issues when there's a lot of shit going on, but again, that happens in most action games, really.
Which isn't... What is the frame rate for this? Is it 30 or is it 60?
30 standard, I believe it's 60 FPS, but it's very inconsistent on the PS3.
Yeah, I was going to say that the PS3 is having a lot of problems, you know, saying that it's just not very good.
Right, before we run out of time, I must quickly explain the Werehog's leveling up system. Combat gains your new moves. Strength is obvious, ups your strength. Life, again, upgrade your life bar. And Unleashed and Shield, just basically upgrade their respective things, really.
On the Wii version, you don't choose what to do. Basically, there's this kind of circle that when you get more points, it fills up the circle, and then once you reach a specific goal, you get like an extra move, or you get more power or more health, which is how it works in the Wii version.
How odd. Well, please join us in part 4 of the Sonic Unleashed playthrough. Bye bye.
Magical.